but if you have Burger King and you have McDonald's, where will you go?
I
Go to McDonald's. Huh? Hi guys, this is Vaibhav.
Hi, this is Akshay.
And today we will be discussing about how founders and co-founders choose name for their company and how did we end up choosing the name Kazam for our company.
Right. So I think earlier days it was quite easier for you to choose your company because obviously the competition was less. There were lesser number of companies, and we all know the story of how Steve Jobs ended up choosing Apple for as the name of the company. So nowadays with all the domain wars that are happening where you can't really register a .com name and it is very expensive, being very innovative with the names that you choose becomes a basic necessity.
And in Indian context, if you see, most of the companies were named after the surnames of the founders like Tata, Birlas, and so on and so forth, or Ambani's. So the companies were normally made in this fashion. However, if we talk about the .com revolution or the Silicon Revolution which happened in West, there the company's co-founders or founders have chosen names which sometimes they were initially choosing very high-tech names, but later on what the trend started was that they started choosing very simpler names like Apple or Amazon. And story of Amazon is also very interesting because Jeff Bezos initially named it as relentless.com, and eventually it was changed to Amazon. Even in fun fact, even if you go to today web browser and type relentless.com, you will be directed to Amazon's website.
I think that is true for, that is why I think when you look at the domain names, you will see .in, .io and all of these newer forms of domain names coming into place, so that at least you get their first name which you actually want. I think in this perspective, the companies which came in 1990s during the .com phase in itself really made good use of having good names with them. Someone like a Naukri.com, right? It is such an easy name. What does Naukri.com do?
Right. So,
and they got their domains because they were in the 1990s. And even when you're trying to register your company in India, you typically have to go through the MCA, especially if you're a private limited company, and it has to get approved. Same with LLP as well. You need to get it approved and you get a list of names that you can choose. So you really don't have the liberty to say that I want very specifically just this. And I think that is why you need to be very innovative. Now let's come back to our story on why we named ourselves Kazam. So we were also hunting just this way to find out the right .com name for us. We stumbled upon on a lot of names. We called ourselves the Electra, and we've also called ourselves, we had shortlisted a lot of them. We called ourselves ZOAR, and what happened was just before we could book ZOAR.com, it just went away from us. And so the competition is very intense, if I have to say.
In fact, I have a hypothesis that if you start searching for those domain names, I believe they become costlier.
Yeah, it might be true. I don't know. Maybe we should tag GoDaddy or BigRock and really ask them, does it really work this way? And actually, keeping domain names and trading domain names is a business in itself. So if you're up for that, then maybe you can start searching more on that. But again, coming back to why Kazam, right? So we said, okay, let's start about Flash. And we were very interested in having Flash as a character and also a superhero who belongs in the electric domain, is very fast and quick. And we realized that we were not going to get Flash any which ways. So we said, okay, why not Shazam? Then we realized Shazam is already an app which is very similar to Flash, but Shazam was taken away. And then we said, okay, let's think more about it. And then we said, let's combine this with another word called magical words, Abracadabra, Kazam, and merge these two, amalgamate these two. And finally we came up with Kazam. So Kazam is a derivation of two entities. One is Abracadabra, Kazam, and second one being Shazam, and kind of merged together. So
yeah. However, you're facing a different challenge now that some people are pronouncing it as Kazam, and some people are announcing it as Kazam. So I think it will take a learning on customers' part to learn how to really pronounce the name, I believe.
Moreover, even if you see our portfolio, we really stand for the pillars of being fast, being electric, and being magical for Indian consumers, for driving mobility into the electrification.
So in our case, we first registered the domain, and then based on the domain name, we bought 2-3 domains already just to safeguard our names, and then based on the domain, we registered our company as Kazam Tech Private Limited. So yeah, that's the story of the name of the product or the brand, and then name of the company. Also, guys, you need to take care of a lot of legal.
electricity नहीं रख सकता हूँ.
Yeah. You need to take care of a lot of legal things while naming your brand or your company. It cannot be, you cannot make a generic name for a commodity and name it as your company. For example, if you are a rice company, you can't name your brand as rice. I mean, you can, but somebody will definitely legally dispute it because you're selling rice and then you're naming your company as rice. But definitely, you can make a mobile company and name it rice. That should not be a problem. Similarly, trademark right violation, if already such a company exists or not, please do research on that as well before naming. Otherwise, a lot of work will go on in changing domain names, brand names, and possibly company names.
Yeah, nowadays people are much open to .in, .com, then .com. .com was very standard and it came very naturally to people in the earlier days.
Also, in naming the companies, if I tell you about Indian trend, there is a lot of focus on vernacular words like khata book or dastavez or and things like that. So those kind of names are really picking up. Names from Indian traditional literature, names from our own vernacular languages like Mowgli, Moglix is the name, but yeah, it is similar in pronunciation with Mowgli. So those kind of names are really picking up today because not just for the sake of visual or audio appeasement, but also because most of the people in tier 2, tier 3 cities actually search the keywords in their own language, in Hindi or their own vernacular language. So keeping a name similar to that vernacular language may be a very smart idea.
One more interesting fact about names are, they can actually become verbs. Something like Paytm, right? Paytm has become Paytm Karo, and it is so easy nowadays. I don't think we even say कि भैया क्या करना है. We say भैया Paytm करना है.
एक उस point from that point also we can have a name that might become a verb. Like Google it. Yeah, I don't say please search it in your search engine. I say Google it.
Correct. And similarly for Swiggy, I think now everybody says Swiggy. Let's just Swiggy it. And
Dunzo karwa lo. So Dunzo is also one of the examples where it becomes verb. Probably many names can become verb, but some names can't become verb. For example, saying Google Pay karo is a much longer need to say than.
Correct. And same, I think in our case it would be charge point kar lo is so different and difficult, right? But you can easily say Kazam kar le.
Also, one more thing, a good name can be a boon, but it can also be a bane, guys, because let us say today you choose a name and the name kind of creates a psychological barrier.
Book My Show. So Book My Show actually came up with Book My Show, which was basically booking for any kind of movies, shows, plays, etc. And they could easily diversify into the show business very easily. But if they were Book My Movie or something, then I don't think they would have ever been able to show, book plays and everything. We would have never thought of that in perspective. Thank you guys. Leave your comments below and let us know if you have faced something very similar and how did you come up with your company name. And thank you.
Alright guys, see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.